Wow, so we're getting more lore on Brian Moser as the season progresses. Man, I gotta say, they really have done their homework. Although, you're not gonna get me emotional for Brian Moser. I'm not crying, you're crying. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for Dexter Original Sin. This one's going to be doing my next review for Season 1. We are at the penultimate episode, guys, of Season 1. Where has the time gone? And what the hell did I just watch? Holy shit! So, yeah, spoiler warning if you have not seen this episode yet. Seriously, would not want this ruined for you. Watch it first, then come back and watch the review. Let's get into this episode. Oh my god, man. I mean, about halfway through the episode, I already had the assumption of mine pretty much clarified for me. We have been dicked around with this entire season, and I'm happy we have been, because this season has introduced a villain that I did not think that we would be getting. Brian Moser has fully reemerged as a villain in this franchise. Like, not just somewhat, not just a cameo, not just something little. He is the full-on villain of this season, and they are full-on laying it on thick. Man, I mean, this one's insane. This one's called Blood Drive, and basically the story of this episode is we have the flashbacks going on with, which let's delve into these first. We have the police officers, Harry and the rest of them, Captain Spencer, stuff like that, who, of course, find the shipping, the shipyard and stuff, the shipping container, and they go in there, and, well, we have one of the most gruesome moments ever where they discover over, time as they're looking through this shipyard for hours and hours on end, all the way into the night and even into the next day. They're looking for Laura Moser, right? And her kids and, Brian and, Dexter and stuff. And they find them in there, and you have a severed in several pieces Laura laying there dead, as you have Brian and you have Dexter that are just sitting there in the corner of the darn, shipping container. And this was one of the most gruesome scenes ever. I mean, we literally see Laura in pieces. We see them take Brian and take, Dexter. And, of course, they bring them back. And you can tell kind of throughout this entire thing, like, Brian as a young kid was kind of like angry. He was kind of like, pissed off. And Dexter was just kind of in a daze. Like, you can tell Dexter just like doesn't even know what to think about any of this stuff, And it's absolutely insane because they find them there in that kind of condition. And it's just like, yo, like, what the hell is going to go on, And you get one of the darkest flashbacks ever. You have this woman, that's kind of going around saying like, yeah, like maybe we can take them, and Harry's like, no, we'll look after them, stuff like that. And oh my god, you have Brian in this episode who he's left unsupervised for a minute, and you got a young baby version of Deb who's crying, right? And you kind of think at first, you're like, oh, like, Brian's gonna, do something or something. And it's like, yeah, he does something. He takes a pillow and tries to fucking kill the baby Deb. He tries to actually suffocate baby Deb to death. A young Brian actually tries to kill Deb as a baby. And when they see this, they flip the hell out. And then you've got Brian, he freaks out, he hits, Harry in the face, he punches his fist through the darn glass of the door, he absolutely loses his mind, and they come to the conclusion after that one that, he has to go, that Brian has to go. He almost just killed Deb as a fucking baby. Brian has taken the death of his mother to a whole other extreme, and now they separate Dexter and Brian as little kids, and they actually show this in the flashbacks, and I'm like, man, call me sick all you want, but I felt very bad for Brian. I mean, what he did was absolutely sick in the head. I understand that. But at the same time, you're seeing him getting separated from his brother. The one thing that kept him sane, the one thing of normalcy and familiarness, I guess you could say, that he was ripped away from. You know what I'm saying? Insane, man. Just absolutely mental. I couldn't get over it. So They get separated, and then in the current day, we have Brian that is at this nursing home, at this, bingo place or whatever, and he finds this woman. The same woman that separated him when he was young from Dexter. He finds her, he knocks her out and puts her in the back of this van as she realizes who he is, and Brian then, ties her up and chainsaws her. So, the woman that separated him from Dexter when he was a little kid, he kills with a chainsaw in the current day. What a fucking mental case. Like I say, it's the most lore we've ever gotten on Brian Moser. I can't even believe that Brian Moser is our main villain of this season. He is. You can't tell me he isn't. Captain Spencer is a throw-off villain. He is a complete throw-off. He's a stand-in so that this can happen. And, dear God, man, I mean, I always loved Brian Moser in the first season. I especially love his character now. This has been some insane lore on his character, on the Ice Truck Killer. Absolutely insane. Absolutely nuts. So I am trying to wrap my head around that, let alone, but that's just the flashbacks, okay? So that, you get the current day stuff where he kills the woman with the chainsaw in revenge for what she did, taking him away from Dexter, and then you also have this Captain Spencer stuff. Now, they're donating blood, of course, to, help Bobby out, of course, because they're trying to help him out, give him blood and stuff like that. Dexter already gives blood, and then he has to give more blood because Masuka doesn't know that he, took more blood already. So Dexter's kind of a little loopy, because he gave so much blood away. And there is a moment where he draws blood from Captain Spencer, and you can tell that he just puts that needle right in Captain Spencer's arm. He just wants him to feel all the pain, you know what I'm saying? So now he's trying to find a way to take out Captain Spencer, but it's kind of an interesting one because you got Dexter now that's kind of loopy after giving so much blood. He's trying to find a good spot to kind of, confront him in. And I gotta say, I did not think that Dexter was going to get Captain Spencer, but in this episode, we actually see Captain Spencer does get taken by Dexter, and he puts him on his table, and I gotta say, the way that he confronted him was really interesting, because again, this is young Dexter. He doesn't have the experience that our, very well-known Michael C. Hall Dexter has. So here you have a young version of Dexter with really low blood at this point, and he's, trying to get to him, and he actually misses. He actually has to fight Captain Spencer in order to get that crap in his neck, He does manage to get him, but then Dexter kind of falls back because he drew some blood and stuff like that, so I thought that was pretty insane. But we have Dexter, of course, that puts, Spencer on his table, and even still, regardless of all the evidence that Dexter has on Captain Spencer does not ever admit that he did what he did. He plays an innocent act. He acts like, oh, no, you got the wrong guy. And Dexter genuinely asks him, he's like, how do you do it? How do you mask yourself? How do you seem so innocent? He's like, no, you got the wrong guy, man. Like, he just will not crack. So Dexter goes the ultimate high road in this one and starts taking fucking fingers. So, I mean, holy shit, man. That is insane. And you know what's crazy about this episode? He will not reveal where the kid is. Where the kid is that's locked up. His own fucking son. He will not reveal where he is. Where he's locked up. So Dexter keeps him on the table as he walks out of there. And unfortunately, the one thing that Dexter didn't realize, because he's kind of out of it, he drew blood and he's kind of new to all this whole thing. Captain Spencer actually escapes from his table. He actually gets out of there. And at the end of the episode, you got Captain Spencer that's ready to drive away, as you got, Dexter that's sitting in the truck waiting for him to pull out, as Dexter is going to tail Captain Spencer as the episode concludes. Mental, man. Absolutely mental. I mean, they just keep giving with this show. It's insane. Now, there's a few other plots this episode. There's Deb going to Miami Metro for the first time. That was really cool. I really like seeing that. That was an absolute surprise to me. We had a few other sequences in this one, but overall, that was kind of the gist of the episode, you know what I'm saying? We had a lot of, other dialogue scenes, some Harry scenes. You also had LaGuardia that's looking into this Brian Moser thing, which Harry is completely throwing her off the scent so that she doesn't gain any information. I think that's the most interesting thing, and what makes this, in particular, my favorite episode so far of Original Sin, is that Brian Moser is a full-on killer. He's a full-on villain. how in the world does this get wrapped up until 2006? We're in 1991. Somehow Brian Moser survives until 2006, and this case is closed at one point. And then Brian reemerges, which is the events of the original series. I gotta say, I am super, super curious. I am super invested to see how that all gets wrapped in a bow for now, at least until about 10 plus years later when Brian Moser reemerges. It's absolutely insane. So now going into this finale, you have LaGuardia that's looking into this whole thing. You've got Brian on the loose, killing people, murdering people with fucking chainsaws. You've got Captain Spencer that actually got away from Dexter. Dexter's ready to tail him. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions down below. What did you think of this episode? And are you ready for this finale of Original Sin? Holy crap, man. Dexter, man, is the show that just keeps fucking giving. I mean, seriously. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. This is the king of TV for me right now. Dexter is fucking phenomenal. It's so good, man. It's so good. Like, if you by chance are watching this video and you have not watched modern day Dexter, like I'm talking New Blood and Original Sin and all these cool spinoffs, watch them because holy shit, like I am blown away. This is easily the best franchise I'm watching right now. I am just every week when this shit comes on, I don't know what else they're going to do. And I got to give credit where credit is due on this. They are expanding and giving you extra lore on a character like Brian Moser, a character that was already phenomenally written. And you are actually giving him depth. You are actually giving him emotion, perspective, and you are enhancing a character from 2006. What TV show does that? Like, insane. Absolutely insane. I will be back with the finale next week. Thank you for watching. We'll probably end up doing some discussion videos leading up to this finale. Theories, discussions, all that fun stuff like usual. But at least for the review, I got a 10 out of 10 for this episode. This is a mental show, and I can't wait for more. Thank y'all for watching. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, be sure to click subscribe button to miss any of the videos for Dexter Original Sin. Be sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for videos for Dexter. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies hit a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.